Good afternoon, students. In the last class, we discussed some of the services or the functions usually done by the RTK, that is real-time kernel. What is the kernel that is used for real-time operating system is called as real-time kernel, right? So in the last class, we discussed some of the functionalities or the services provided by the RTK. Totally, there are 7 services provided, and we discussed it in detail. So today we are going to discuss about task, process, threads. So today we are going to discuss 3 topics. Actually, these are 3 topics, but very small topics. That's why I want to complete all these 3 topics in the same class. So first of all, we discussed what are the definitions of these task, process, threads, and how they are related with one another. And what are the different stages of this task or different services which are handled or take care of this task, process, and threads. Here, so task. The term task refers to the what is the general meaning of the task? Some work need to be done. Is that not something to be done? So in the operating system, in the similar way, operating system, a task is defined as the program in execution. Frankly speaking, this task is also a program which is a set of instructions, right? So in the operating system, these tasks is defined as the program in execution and the related information maintained by the operating system for the program. Okay, so this task may also be called as a job. Also called as a job. Why? Because job is nothing but some work need to be done. So in the operating system context, it can also be called as job. So a program or a part of it in the execution is also called as process. Okay. So task is a complete work need to be done, and the part of this task is called as process. So one task may have the multiple process, right? So now tell me, what is the relation between the task and process? One task may have multiple. What is the relation? What is the relation between the task and process? One task is a complete job that is having the multiple process within it, right? So a part of a program or a part of a task, we can call it as process. And the term task, job, process refer to the same meaning, same entity in the operating system context. There is some work, something need to be done, something to be done. So here, a task refers to in operating context is also referred as a job. Whether it is a task, it is referred as a task, job, process, everything is the same entity in the operating system context. A term task refers to something to do. And in the operating system, a task is defined as the program in execution, the current execution program, and the related information maintained by the operating system for that program under the execution, right? Next, process. Process is also a program which is nothing but a set of instructions, and it is a part of the task, as just now we discussed. And process is also known as the instant of program in the execution. So the process is nothing but the process, the program under the execution, right? Multiple instances of the same program can execute simultaneously. Means multiple process can be able to in the case of multi-processing system, multitasking system, multiple tasks or multiple processes need to be executed. Or currently, concurrently, multiple process or multiple tasks will execute, and all the tasks or the multiple executing process will share the same resources, right? And so multiple instances of same program can execute simultaneously. That is called as concurrent execution. In which system this concurrent execution is possible? In the multitasking system or in the multi-processing system, this concurrent execution is possible. So a process that requires various system resources like CPU for executing the program, a memory for storing the code, the source code that is corresponding to the process, and associated variables like global variables and the local variables which are required to execute that code. Okay, so that is also a resource we can say. And input output devices for information exchange in our out. I mean, to or from the external devices and the peripherals are internal components, right? So what are the system resources? Tell me now. A process requires various system resources like CPU. What is the need of CPU? For executing the program. What is the need of memory? CPU, memory, IO devices. These are all the system resources, various system resources required for the execution of the process. And what is the use of these system resources? What is the use of these system resources, ma? What is the use of CPU? For executing the process. What is the use of memory? For storing the code corresponding to the process and associated variables, right? So, memory means in which memory, usually in the embedded system, in which memory the source code is used, usually stored or dumped into. So in which memory the source code is loaded into, in the case of embedded system, flash memory, right? So there are basically two types of memories are available. Read-only memory or random access memory. And read-only memory means which the programs need to be saved. Even why? Because the source code is usually stored in the read-only memory. There are two types of read-only memories, right? Multiple types of read-only memories we discussed right now. So in that, flash memory is one of the type of the read-only memory where the source code are loaded in the case of embedded system. Why? Because it is the extension of the electrically erasable read-only, programmable read-only memory, right? That and all we discussed during the second unit of subject. And IO devices is also one of the system resources for information exchange in our between to or from the external peripherals. Okay, so in the process, in which manner the execution is going on. So the execution may be done in a sequential manner, or concurrent execution may be possible. But in the case of process, the sequential execution is possible, and it supports a sequential execution. What do you mean of the sequential execution? How it is different from the concurrent execution? So sequential execution means, as the name itself indicates, after the execution of the instruction 1, the controller will come to the instruction 2, and after the execution of the completion of the execution of the instruction 2, it comes to the controller will move to the next instruction. So sequentially it will execute from one after the another. So it is about the task and process. So what do you mean of the task? What do you mean of the task? A task, general meaning of the task is something to be done. So in the operating system context, a task is defined as a program in execution and the related information that is maintained by the operating system for the execution of this program, right? Just define the task and process now. In the operating system, a task is defined as a program in the execution and the related information that is maintained by the operating system for this program. Whereas in the case of process, how we can define the process? So it is also known as the instance of a program, right? In the execution, and what are the resources that are required for the execution of each process? CPU, memory, and IO devices. So CPU for the execution of the program, whereas memory to store the source code and the related information, associated variables, and IO devices for the information exchange. These are all the system resources which are required for the execution of the program. Instance of a program, there is a process, nothing but process. So now we'll see the structure of the process. Now we'll see the structure of the process. So the concept of the process that leads to the concurrent execution of the task and thereby efficient utilization of the CPU and other system resources. Alright. So the concurrent execution is achieved through the sharing of the CPU among the process. As I already explained you, in the case of multi-processing system and the multitasking system, multiple processes and multiple tasks will execute parallelly, right? So multiple tasks need to be shared the same resource. Okay, so at that time, what they'll do, concurrent execution is achieved. How can it achieve? Only by sharing these CPU among the process. Why? Because CPU is required for all, CPU attention is required for all the process in the case of multi-processing system. So the concept of this process that leads to the concurrent execution of the task. And why? Because the task is having the multiple process, and if the multiple process are the continuous, when parallelly multiple process in execution, concurrent execution is possible, which speed up the execution, which increases the performance of the system automatically, right? So thereby efficient utilization of the CPU is also possible with the multi-processing execution, multiple processing execution. So here, so a process mimics a processor in properties and holds a set of registers and process status, a program counter, a stack for holding the local variables associated with the task, and the code representing to the. What do you mean of this program counter? Some of the properties of the process similar to the process. So in the case of a program counter, stack pointer, right? Okay. So here, what do you mean of this program counter? What do you mean of program counter? So program counter is a register which is used to point the address of the next instruction to be executed, right? So for example, if instruction 1 is in execution, current execution is currently under the execution. So program counter always point to the address of the instruction 2. Okay. So program counter is the register which holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. So here, under this structure of the process, means the concept of this process that leads to the one of the main advantages of this process, as the task is divided into multiple process. This concept of these processes that leading to that can lead to the concurrent execution of the task. With that, it can improve the performance of the system, and also that improves the efficient utilization of the CPU, right? And not only the CPU utilization, system resources also, other system resources. And concurrent execution is achieved through the sharing of the CPU among the process. Attention of the CPU is required for all the execution of the process, right? So a process mimics a process in some of the properties, like the holds a set of registers and process status. A status of the process means what is the current state of the process and what is the ID of the process, right? So and also a program counter, as we already discussed, that points to always the address of the next instruction to be executed, and stack for holding the local variables. So this property is also similar to the process property. What is the use of the stack? For holding some of the local variables which are associated with the task, right? And the code, and also the code which is corresponding to the stack is used to hold the code and the local variables which are corresponding to that associated with that task. Okay, so here a stack pointer, you can see some of the working registers and status registers. These are all some of the properties which are similar to the process, right? And stack which holds the source code related to the program related to that process, and some of the local registers are required to temporarily hold the information. Status register to which shows the current status of that process, and program counter always point to the address from the code memory, address of the actually next instruction to be executed. And here the process has 3 memory regions, namely a stack memory, data memory, and code memory. What is the each memory holds means the stack memory holds all the temporary data such as variables local to the local variables for the current execution of the process, and data memory that holds the global data for the execution of the process, and code memory that contains the program code corresponding to the process. So what are the 3 different types of memories that that process has? Tell me, students, what is the process has 3 memory regions, right? Name, give me the names of 3 memory regions the process is having. Actually, the process has 3 memory regions, right? What are the 3 memory regions process is having? What are the 3 memory regions the process is having? Stack memory, data memory, and code memory, right? So stack memory, what are the contents that hold by the stack memory, and what are the contents held by the data memory, and what are the contents held by the code memory? It means that stack memory holds all the temporary data such as local variables or to the process, and data memory that holds all global data for the process, and code memory contains the program code corresponding to the process. And now we are going to discuss about the different states of the process and what do you mean of the transition of these states. Okay, so the process is having, here you can see that clearly different states of the process is having, this is called as, this diagram is called as life cycle of the process, right? Life cycle of the process. This process is having multiple states, like first of all, when it is created and before inserted into the memory, that state of the process is called as created state. Okay, that state is called as created state. After the process is created, it is not recognized by the operating system, right? So once it is inserted into the memory and awaiting the process to execute now, so then it is ready for the execution. That means it is ready for the execution, and it is ready for the execution means it is in the queue that is maintained by the operating system. And after that, once the execution started, you can say the process is in the running state. So during the execution, sometimes the current execution of the process may be suspended due to some internal exceptions and due to some interruptions, right? So at that time, temporarily it will move into the blocked state. And after that, errors are handled, or exceptions are handled. After that, what will happen? No, it will again again go to the ready state. After that, it will continue. Resume that execution. After that execution is completed, it will move to the completed state. So these are all the different states of the process is having. Now tell me, what are the different states the process is having? Created state, ready state. After that, first it is created, no, then before the recognized by the operating system, it is in the create state. Once it is inserted into the memory and awaited the process of the execution, it is, okay, say it is in the queue maintained by the operating system, it is in ready state. And after that, once the execution of the process starts, you can say it is in the running state. And during the execution of the process, it may be entered into the block state due to some of the interruptions. And after that is cleared, it again move to the ready state, and again that execution is resumed. And after that execution is completed, we move to the completed state. Here, a creation of the process to its termination is not a single step of operation, as we see. The process traverses through a series of states during its transition from the newly created state to the terminated state. From the newly created state to terminated state. And the cycle through which a process changes its state from newly created to execution completed in as process life cycle. Just now we discussed the diagram. With diagram, process life cycle, how many states it is having? Created state, ready state, running state, in between block state, maybe after that completed state. These are all the different states available in the process life cycle. So it is not a single step of operation, that creation of the process to the till it is terminated. No, it is not a single step operation. It is having multiple states. So here we need to discuss one of the services that is handled by the kernel of the real-time operating system regarding the process, that is process management. So what are the services that handled by the kernel? Is nothing but process management deals with the I mean, so this about this process management is one of the essential services handled by the real-time kernel. We already discussed in the some basic functions of the real-time kernel. It is one of the basic function of the real-time kernel, right? Process management. So process management deals with the creation of the process, setting up the memory space for the process. After that process is created, okay, so that process, some memory need to be allocated for that. Memory allocation need to be done, either the dynamic memory allocation or block memory allocation. Actually, in the case of real-time operating system, a memory allocation is done in the block-wise onto the need basis, right? Whereas in the case of general purpose operating system, dynamic memory allocation is possible actually. So loading the process code into the memory space and allocating the system resources for the execution of proper execution of this process, and setting up a process control block. What are the contents of the process control block? What are the things are contents held by the PCB? A process control block. What are the contents? The last class we discussed, Mama. So process control block holds the ID, that is identified number given for each process, that is unique for each process. That ID is maintained by the process control block, and state of the process is maintained by the process control block. State point, I mean memory pointer, a context pointer, okay, process pointer. These are all the contents that are held by the process control block. And process control block for each process is different. Each process is having its own process control block that holds entire information recording the process and process termination. These are all some of the services that deals by the process management. Now tell me, the students, what are all the services? I mean, what process management deals with? Creation of the process, setting up the memory space. After it is created, some memory allocation need to be done. Setting up the memory space for the process, loading the process code into the memory space. That is usually the flash memory of the embedded, in the case of embedded systems. Allocating the system resources for the proper execution of the process, and setting up the process control block which holds the contents and entire information regarding the particular process, and termination of the process after the execution of the process is completed. Next, last topic of our class. This thread. So a process is the part of the task, right? A process is the part of the task, where the thread is the part of the process. A thread is a primitive that can execute code. I mean, a single thread. I mean, a thread is a single sequential flow of control within the process. A process may have multiple threads. It's a lightweighted process. We can also call it as a lightweighted process. A single process will have multiple threads in it. A process can have many threads of execution. Okay, so a thread is a primitive that can execute code. A thread is a single sequential flow of control within a process. A process can have multiple threads of execution. A thread is also known as a lightweight process. Okay, so students, today we discussed about a very important topic in our fourth unit, that is the task process threads. Okay, so what do you mean of this task? What do you mean of this task? Task, general meaning of the task is something to be done, right? So in the operating system, the task is defined as the program in the execution and the related information maintained by the operating system for the proper execution of the program. I mean, frankly speaking, it's a program in execution, right? One application may have multiple tasks, and the task may have multiple process, and multiple processes have the light-weighted process like threads, right? So in one line, we can say the relation between the task, process, and threads. The task is also known as a job in the case of operating system context. Job, task, process, everything refers to the same entity in the operating system context. And again, that after that we discussed about that process and what are the system resources which are allocated for the execution of the process, and what are the structure of the process and different states the process is having, and what are the different types of the memory regions the process is having, like stack memory, data memory, and code memory, and different states of during the execution, from the created state to the termination state. What are the different states the process can go through in the life cycle of the process, and what process management deals with, and what are the threads. Okay, so today we discussed about task, process, and threads. If any loss, please ask me, students.